So I had an incident a while ago that I want to share with you. This is going to be different from my usual videos. This is going to be something I like to call story time, where anything that has happened in my life that I may want to talk about, I'll make a video about it and upload it to my channel. Today, I want to talk about my first experience in a fender bender. If you don't know what that is, it's like a car crash, but with minor damage to either or both cars. So the story starts like this. It was April 2nd, 2021. My family planned to go on a vacation to see the Grand Canyon and bring me along, which vacations I am not a big fan of anymore. Not because of this whole virus thing, but because it's just not my type of thing anymore. I've been so used to being home for so long for most of my life, it makes me uncomfortable to be staying in a new environment for at least the night, especially when you don't know who you're around over there. So we got our stuff packed in the car, got some McDonald's for breakfast, and started heading for the freeway. We were at a four-way stop and the light turns red. My dad was supposed to stop, but at the same time he was supposed to, my mom was trying to get data for the car so it wouldn't be a boring 6-hour trip. That's when I feel the car tilt forward all of a sudden. My dad hit the brakes. My sister screams, and as I was looking on my phone, the jerk makes me instantly swing my head upwards as I see what we were about to get into. A gray car was trying to take a sharp right as they had a red light. The car stops. Our car slows down, but it was too late. A small thud is heard inside the car. We collided with the other car. Apparently, my dad wasn't paying attention to the red light that was shown to us. Just to let you know, my dad can't multitask. While my mom was calling for car data, my dad must have been listening to the call while not being able to focus enough on the road, causing us to crash. Luckily, the collision wasn't too bad. We dented the other man's front part of the driver's door, but nothing else was broken. As for us, though, a small piece of the left corner of our car was torn off, leaving a little hole into the engine. No lights were shattered or removed, so that's good. Along with that, nobody was injured on both sides. But I was injured a little inside. Since it was my first fender bender experience, of course I would be shocked. After the crash, the person who we were calling for car data heard the crash and my mom told her what happened. The caller assisted on calling 911 for us, and while that happened, my dad was talking to the man who we collided into. After my dad had a look at the damage, we parked in a small area as well as the man. But after that happened, I still didn't feel good. I could still picture that man looking at us in shock. He put his face into his hands afterwards like he was in disbelief. Then in disappointment. I was starting to get nervous, then a little angry, and eventually after seeing the results of the crash once we parked, I would constantly swear to myself, thinking this could be bad for our family. My parents have had it badly for a bit. A month ago, my mom slipped on a tiny puddle of water my dog made while drinking water, causing her to rupture her arm. She has gone through a lot more as well. She survived breast cancer 4 years ago, she got some muscle surgery on one of her arms, and had her stomach shortened for reasons I don't remember. Both my parents got COVID in December, which somehow didn't get me or my sister. I'm starting to get worried about them, but it seems like the reasons I have for them just don't seem to appear when I think about it. Because we were the cause of the collision, when the police came, my dad was given a ticket. I'm not sure if he paid it off already at the time that I'm saying this, but it is going to be a lot more money he is going to have to pay than we expected. There were two police who came. One was talking to my family asking questions. Another was taking pictures of our car, most likely for info on it to send back to the station. There was also an ambulance and a fire truck that came just in case, but they weren't needed. Luckily. My dad went outside again to see what the damage was. Again. And this time he was taking pictures. My mom tried to comfort me and my sister, mostly my sister because she was crying since she thought we would have to cancel the trip, which was a completely stupid reason for her to cry about, and I just wanted to slap her because of it since I needed some space myself to think about what the hell just happened. I was constantly telling my parents that we should just cancel the trip. I just wanted to go back home and pet my dog with glaucoma and my conehead dog, because I needed their comfort. But it didn't end there. A few times later after the collision, we almost collided with other cars as well, which wasn't helping my already spooked self after what happened. During that nightmare, we were looking for a rental car, which we had no luck. So for a final resort, my dad went to an auto repair place to see if the collision would risk our car breaking down during the trip. We were good to go on the road with the car, and eventually we were continuing on hitting the road. After all of that, I was still begging to go back home, but they still continued with the plans for the trip. God damn it, your son just experienced his first fender bender, which could have been an actual car crash. Maybe you should at least try to make him feel better and give him what he wanted. But I had to face it. They already bought the hotel, and I'm guessing they wouldn't have wanted to cancel a fantastic vacation for their whole family, while your son is constantly bitching about what just happened at 7:12 a.m. on that Friday. So we still did the trip, and in my opinion, it was pretty good. The Grand Canyon was cool, I'd give that a 7 out of 10. We ate at a very good Italian restaurant, that was a 9 out of 10, and we did some shopping on our way back home. 7 out of 10 as well. And I got to see some interesting sights, like my first sightings of deer and seeing the stars in pitch darkness. Although the hotel night was bad, I was too warm and only got 4 hours of sleep. Also, while we were going to look at the stars, the radio channel we were listening to made an Among Us joke. I wanted to die at that point. And here's a coincidence. After the star seeing, heading back to the hotel, we could hear two men arguing about one of them hitting their car. The difference here was that with our collision, the man we hit was more passive, but these two were in a real verbal argument. This vacation was the biggest up and down roller coaster I have ever been on. But I'm just glad to be home now. That was a massive emotional ride, and I wouldn't wish to have to go through something like that again for as long as I live, which will probably be until I hit 52. So yeah, that was my first experience in a fender bender. I hope you enjoyed my story. If I have something else I want to tell, I'll make another video about it, but I don't know how long that will be. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next video.
Need to get inside the ring. Pronto.
Enemy over here.
Throw an arc star. Hit the engine. Subject spotted.
Watching here.
Shot at. Charging shield.
Reloading. Down to subject. Getting shot at.
Go
I
time.
have eyes on the enemy.
Noxious gas deployed. My pistol. Reloading. Down one.
You are the Apex Champions.